So hello, Divine Design viewers. Today I am here with Kim Cagle. Did I say your last name right? Okay.
Cagle Bagel.
Cagle Bagel, that works awesome. So how I met Kim is through Facebook, and I saw that she was running a marathon, and I just saw that she had, I don't know, I could tell this was a God thing for her. And I just reached out to her and asked her if she'd be willing to tell us her story and how she came about able to run a marathon. And so she's going to tell us her story. So Kim, just go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was a late runner. I started in my late 40s. I got inspired by some other friends, and so I got intrigued. Like, I wonder if I could try that. And so I started just doing walk runs. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Well, at first I didn't think I could do a mile or even just a minute, but then it been a mile, and then the next thing I know it was 5Ks, and then I ended up really doing the half marathons. And so wow, it was amazing. Like, okay, but I can remember once when I was doing a half marathon of Space Coast, and I remember crossing paths with people that was doing the full marathon because they were running the same race. I'm like, Lord, I will never do that. I don't never want to do that. They look miserable. Their faces were just like, and here I was just like, no. I was like, you don't never worry about me ever asking to do that because I don't want to. And so, okay. So, of course, and then after the Space Coast, then I did a Key West half marathon about a month after that. Loving it, enjoying it. Well, I got hurt at work, got real bad injuries to my knee, and so actually a little bit before that, the thought of the marathon did come to me, like the Honolulu, and I was like, no, maybe, okay, I'll stop thinking about it, Lord. And then when I got hurt, I was like, well, Lord, you know, that's that, you know, because when I got hurt, I went to 2 different doctors saying that they can do surgery, but I'll be fortunate or very lucky to be able to just walk. But marathons, running was done. And that was 2 different doctors saying that this is, you know, and I was like, yeah, but, and I still was like, yeah, but, and then they're like, well, if you do a marathon, send us a picture, because, I want to see a picture you cross the finish line, you know, because this is not going to happen. This is not way. We like your spirit, but it's not going to happen. Okay. Well, Lord, you heard that. You know, so that I was like, this is not going to happen. And and then I have a sister that lives South Florida, below Tampa area, and I thought I was going to go see her one weekend. And while I was down there, I saw this, it's an orthopedic place, you know. Anyways, I kind of looked them up online and see what was there, and I found a really good doctor, and made contact with them and made an appointment. And he's like, and I went to see him. He told me, yes. He goes, we could do this. He goes, and he was all about, he was like for getting people out there, trying to get you better. And I was like, okay. So anyways, I know it's a lot, but anyways, he told me, yeah, that he could do the surgery. He'd give me a plan and everything to get me across the finish line. And but I have to listen to him. And then also, like, after the surgery, I would have to give it a certain time. But anyways, all right, so okay. So Lord's giving me the person that said, yes, they can fix my knee. You know, and then, but then it comes up like money-wise, like, Lord, I had insurance, but there was so much that left over I couldn't afford. And so I didn't know how that was going to happen. And up to the day before the surgery, I still didn't know how it's going to happen. And I even had people at work like, what you going to do? I was like, I'm still going. I just feel like God's going to work it out. I don't know how or what, but I'm still going. And that day, I got a call from that surgery center saying, hey, we got it worked out, you know, it's just come on. So see, I was already unpacked, you know, I was already going to go anyways, yeah. But I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know if I should just show up or what. Right, but God worked it out. Okay, so surgery is done, and then it comes time for the rehab part. It got that done and everything. It's like, Okay, and then on the money wise, I did cans. I collected cans. I had people from different churches, different schools, all different counties bringing me cans and bringing them to my porch. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then just other people just really, it just felt so good. Like, okay, wow, Lord, I said, I don't want to let nobody down. And so, and then another thing, Bible verses. I said, God, I don't want this. It's definitely wasn't about me anyways. But I was like, I can't, it's all his idea anyways. So it came to me. It's like, okay, there's 26 miles. Okay, well, 26.2. I was like, I want to start trying to memorize verses, like one for each mile. And so that's what I did, and that's what this is. I had written down the verses, and as I was training, I just wrote down verses that regarded like strength and so that was a big play. And plus, dude, that was my mental strategy. Like once I'm at the marathon, everybody was telling me, there's big times you'll be getting all fogged out and everything. I was like, okay. So anyways, so that was part of my strategy. Just like, because it's all going to be him. I'm trying to think, there's so much more, oh my gosh. And then getting there, my daughter, she was, decided to go with me and my grandson. And my niece. The first was just going to be me. Okay, I can do this. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll go. And then my daughter's like, no, I really want to get the best plane tickets possible. I want the best flight. I said, well, okay, we'll pray about that. And I'll be daggum. We got the best flight ever, because when we flew out there, it was, we went Panama to Atlanta, but then Atlanta to Honolulu. It was that pilot's last flight. We didn't know that till we landed in Honolulu, but they just pampered us all the way over there. That whole 8-9 hours of flight, they kept feeding us and bringing us all kind of snack. I mean, just so wow. I feel like we're in first class, but we're not. We're in the back of the plane, and this is amazing. Yeah. And once we landed, then they announced that it was the pilot's last. He was retiring, and I was like, Melissa, God answered. I love how you answered every little detail. And listen, it wasn't over, because once we landed over there, God was still making us trust Him. I mean, I was trying to trust Him for every step of the way. From the injury, from getting well, the surgery, and then the natural training itself, to be able to finance it. It's like, because I always thought, rich people go to Hawaii, and there were several good people like, that's not a good idea. And your knee, what about your knee? What about this? And what you gonna eat? I don't know. So, but when I'm gonna kind of going all over the place here, but when we did get over there, we landed and we got to the hotel. Well, as soon as my daughter zapped her card, it froze it, because they're like, and she got alerts, hey, somebody in Hawaii is using your card. Yeah. What? Okay, and so thankfully, there was a good love donation that was gathered up for us, and I actually had part of that on me. Part of that I put in the bank, and part of it I had on me. And so, wow, and it was exactly what we needed for that first day. Wow. And then it was like, and then we got to our hotel room, my daughter, and she's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, oh my gosh, she's like, I need to know where we're gonna be tomorrow, where we're gonna stay tomorrow, and how we're gonna eat, So I heard that before. But we got on the floor, we prayed, like, okay, if He's not done, He wants us, He's gonna make us trust Him for every little thing. This whole journey. I mean, He's like, just because we're here, it's not done. And not even counting the marathon itself. But, oh my gosh. Okay. So it worked out. It was day by day. And the thing is, it was the most warm-hearted feeling place ever. And the people that was around us, it's just, oh my gosh. And I asked some people, like, how is it? What is this? And they said, it's Aloha Spirit. I was like, you know what? I get it now. I get it. but it all worked out day by day. Even our flights, we got one-way flights there,
Wow.
and then it was up to like that day the flights back. It was just, I'm telling you, I know it's like, oh, that's so crazy, and that's like not really smart to. No, it was totally dependent on. Look. I told him, I said, if y'all get away back, and if I have to stay behind, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we'll work something out.
Yeah.
But the main thing, though, that was the whole the whole issue. And another thing, too, I never had a desire to go to Hawaii. God was in control of the whole get-go, and I just, this is amazing. And I want to tell you about the actual marathon itself. There's some highlights. There were several moments when I started off really, really, really good. And then when I got to mile 14-ish, okay, there was this little bridge, and I was on the other side of it, just supposed to go up the little bridge. And I was by myself now because the whole pack's done gone. Because I'm slow. I'm slow, but I go. But I was looking over the water, and I was just resting a minute, and I was just like, okay. I was okay, but I was just like, wow. And I said, Lord, I need a minute. And I heard a voice, and there was this young girl come running up on the other side of the bridge with 2 gloves in her hands. And she was running to me, and she had ice in them. And she's like, here, put these on your knees. I didn't say nothing about my knees, and they were killing me. Not just my knees, I was hurting everywhere. But she just ran right up to me, here, put these on your knees. Okay, so I put them on, underneath my pants leg. And she's like, okay, and we have a aid station right on the other side of the bridge. I couldn't see it from where I was. Okay. I was that close from just getting that rest period. Yeah. I didn't know it. Yeah. And that's the other thing, like how close we are to, God has something so wonderful for us. Just don't give up on that point. The biggest thing was I got to mile 20-ish. I just passed the mile 20 mark. And at that point, I was like, Lord, I'm not going to quit. But if you want to hit me with one of these buses, I see these buses coming out. If you want to hit me right now, I will not be mad. I will not hold it against you because I just head to toe. I was just so, it's just a different kind of pain. It's not, I don't know. It's just such this comfortness. And I was like, I need something. I said, I'm not going to quit. If you're not going to hit the bus, then at least maybe give me something to get my mind off of everything else. Yeah. Get my mind off of it. Yeah. I promise you. Probably moments after that, I don't know how, wasn't very long at all, this couple from Kenya come walking up to me. And the lady says, hey, because my husband and I were getting ready to leave, but God told us to come to you. And I was like, okay, yeah, oh, this is, I was like, okay. She was like, yeah. So this is what I want you to do. Because I told her, I said, well, I just prayed for God to help me, So, okay, well, here you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell us your story, but won't keep moving. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I want you to tell me your whole story. So, boom, I told her how I got there, how the whole journey was, and, and then she's like, okay, then. So I told her all much I could. I love to talk. But, so God already worked that out. It's like, get her mouth moving, she'll forget everything else, all the pain. But then just like, okay, well, let's sing Jesus Loves Me. Like, okay, so we sung that. And then she started singing Amazing Grace. We sung Amazing Grace. Okay. Then she started singing Mahumba Batata. I was like, is that a real song? Yeah, it's a real song. I was like, okay. So I said, I'll try to sing that too. But then she's like, okay, let's see how many times we can say the Lord's Prayer, before we get to the finish line. Okay. Took 3 times. At the end of that 3rd time, I looked up, there was mile 26, which still there's a 0.2, but 26. And I was like, wow. And then yes, right up to that point though, there was this truck that pulled over that had snacks and just nutrition stuff. Her husband reached out and got all kinds of stuff for me. So not only were they just helping me along the way, they were nurturing me and just trying to just keep me going. Yeah. And then when I got to that 26, she's like, okay. And it was dark now. It started darkening. It was dark now. And it took me 13 hours. So she's like, you see the lights flashing? She's like, that's the finish line. Okay. She's like, no, I want you to run. I can't. I can't run no more. I can't do it. Yes, you are, and you got to run strong. I'm like, oh, but you know what? And so I started moving. I was like, I was complete numbness. I didn't feel anything. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, well, and then as I'm going, I was like, so how do I reconnect with you when this is over? I want to connect. And she just pointed up. So yeah, so now I'm running, and I look up, and I see my daughter. And I was like, Melissa, I'm running. And I couldn't believe it. And then they had this machine lifter where they were getting ready to take down the thing. I was like, no. No. I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? Because, they're blocking the finish line in the valley. But they never directed me, come this way. So I did. And of course, then they put the medal on, and then the Masadas. I was told that, if you didn't make it in like 6 or 7 hours, there's none. We got 5 bags for you. The little Hawaiian duck pastries. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But it was just, man, it's just talking about faith building, and then like that instant prayer, and then how he just how God, he provided all along the way, and just the whole thing. And he can let us know, okay, this is all about him, and I was just that vessel, and so I'm just so thankful that my sister, one of them says, like, you're just being obedient. I said, yeah, because you don't know, because I like the runs and stuff, but the marathon thing, but now that was all over with. I was like, you know what, Lord, if I ever do go back again, if I ever get the chance to do it, I do want to try to do better, and I have better ideas, but I don't think nothing could top that whole thing. I'm so thankful that for that whole opportunity, and even the ones that really doubted, and then there were some that was like, but there were so many that did believe that the prayers that was on Facebook. That was the biggest platform because I was trying to share like what God is doing, not me. Right. And I never once ever wanted to put gratification on myself, because it was not me. It was all God throughout the whole thing. From my injuries, and then the money, how to get there, and then just the whole process of it. Every step of the way was, I could not have done it on my own, and I'm just so thankful for all that. But
so, of course, I have some questions.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's. I love the story. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you did good.
Just mainly because you can tell you have joy in you from getting to experience this. I think one of the questions is that how did you know, like where is the line of knowing for sure that it was God calling you to do it versus just something you felt like you wanted to do? Does that make sense?
I think it was because it was something I didn't want to do. Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing there. I'm telling you, and I try to express that too at the very beginning. Like this, honestly, I'm telling you, all my life, I never ever had a fear, not just flying, but the Hawaii itself. It's like, and then doing that, running that distance, and I know it'd be misery. I was like, I have no desire to do that. And then I guess, I don't know, I have a prayer chair in my house, in my room. It's my own little sanctuary area. And I was just sitting there one day, and I don't know, it just put it out to me that I was going to do it, and that and that there will be blessings from it, and then just to trust Him. That was the biggest thing, just trust. And He's already done so many things in my life, and I've seen Him be faithful and just everything. I was like, okay, so well, let me see. And I pulled it up, and I signed up. I registered. I was like, no. And then he started sending I can't remember every little thing, but he was sending confirmations, letting me know, like, okay. And I think that's another thing. Just trust Him. Like, okay, Lord, do you really want me to do this missionary thing? I mean, I'm not sure. Don't let it be just me. If this is what you want, and I had to remind myself, if that's what he wants, he will work out a way. You still have to do the steps. You still got to trust him and do what he wants you to do. Like the training and everything. I had, still had to do that. And I probably didn't have to do cans, but I did. Because, I was just like, how can I do it? Because I don't want to just sit back. Okay, yeah. God's taking me to Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah, but as I was picking up cans and doing them, I got to share my story. And that's what I did at the marathon. Every time there was a moment, there were several other times when people would stop. I did have Bible verses on me, the ones I had. It's actually 27 because, y'all, a marathon is 26.2. That 0.2 is a difference.
Yeah.
And so I had those verses. Well, not just the verses, I already have them memorized, but I put the book in the chapter. And then there was when people were like, hey, can we get a picture of that? Like, this is so awesome. Like, why do you do this? So I told them.
That's cool. So my next question is, how do you feel like you hear from God? Is it audible? Is it a feeling? Like, how do you feel like you hear from him?
I think it's all of it. Because sometimes it might be audible. It might be a bird. It might be a meow. Everyday life, even right now, there's things that only he knows. And then if I see something or something comes like, God, thank you.
Yeah.
Especially those little secret things that this brings tenderness and joy to you. And people might know, but there's certain things that you probably don't share, and then you just like, wow, like, okay, yeah, it was you. I know it because there's nobody else that knew that.
Yeah.
And that's what I love too, just that relationship. Oh my gosh. And I'm all about, it's not religion. You can make it a religion, but the relationship, oh my gosh, it's untouchable, and it can grow. It can grow as much as you want, and oh my goodness. I'm more happy and at peace right now ever in my 50s than I think in my 20s. I know God has been with me. Jesus has been with me all my life, but the season I'm in, wow, don't doubt him. He's got you.
Okay, so you said something earlier about, you feel like that God was in it because it wasn't something you would have picked for yourself or chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think God, do you think that is how he works, or do you think you understand what I'm saying here? Do you think he always asks us to do something out of our box or out of our comfort zone, or do you think it can go either way? Does that make sense?
I think either way. I think it's just whatever his plan is. And I think we all have our audience. Okay, I kind of preach that to my family. Like, everybody has their own audience that God, he already has people in mind that he's maybe preparing their hearts, and you may be instrumental. It may be something that out of ordinary you wouldn't do. Or maybe it's something you do love to do, because guess what? He's a loving God. He's still good. He's and you know what? And I actually did kind of enjoy the running. The points of it. But I do think too sometimes, just have to trust him. Okay, this is something I wouldn't. This is so not. And that's when you just like, okay, Lord, this is what you want me to do. You got to show me. You got to lead me. Give me that pillar of fire. And I prayed that, oh my gosh, so many times. And then I'll be, and he will. He will. You ask him to lead, especially doors. Like, do I go through this one, go through that one? You need to just shut one, because I don't know. And he will. He will tell you and let you know, clear cut. But it won't hurt though, just ask him too, because he already knows.
You said running your marathon, you got to the finish line, and that's the point.
Yeah.
It's just of life. It's just keep going, believing and trusting that he's going to get us to the end. And,
and the end is the beginning.
Exactly.
That's what's so cool.
All I know is I hope when we get to heaven, we don't have to make a decision when it comes to, well, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll have it all lined out.
I know, right? But isn't it such an adventure? I'm telling you. I know people like storybooks and movies and stuff. I'm telling you, just get on the page with God. I'm telling you, there's happenings every day. Oh my gosh. I haven't hit a nutshell of the dealings that the things that we go through every day.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
It's really positive and uplifting.
I
And,
hope so.
and I know that it'll speak to people in just the right way that they need to hear it.
Okay.
I believe
Happy
that.
editing.